ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes from the June 8th meeting?
Make a motion.
Been moved by David, second by Randy to approve the minutes. All in favor? All right, sheriff report.
I'm gonna start off by taking the blame on something. It took us, since we're talking about paper service, it took us 3 weeks to serve an individual. I won't say his name since it's an open meeting. I called the individual since he's rural and wanted to check, see if he's home before I drove all the way there. He said he was not, he was in Pueblo. I informed him of what I had in the paper service, informed him to make contact with the thing, and made an agreement that he would call when he came home. And I'm not putting that on him, I'm putting it on me. Then after a while came the realization that he's never called and said he's home, and it's obvious that he was home because we've seen him around. So that paper did sit there for quite some time before it got served, and I apologize for that. I should have followed up sooner and said, hey, you were gonna call me, you said you were home, you never called. We're gonna come out and serve the paper. That is on me, and I wanna apologize to the council for that. That's 100% on me individually, not my department, because I'm the one that called him and attempted his first service. So, just wanted to apologize. I know that screwed things up on the timeline of you guys wanting things done, and it also kind of screwed him up on his timeline of wanting to get things done for the city. So, I'm apologizing for dropping the ball on that. So how I want to start. The report was sent the first of the month, so we'll have one at the first of the month next month, so I don't really have a report with numbers.
Well, and I wasn't here last meeting, so I don't know exactly what all was discussed or what needed to be discussed. And I do, just so the council's aware as well, on those, when we do the property cleanups, it's $25 a day. So being timely and getting things served is important to, so it's not sitting.
Yeah, and like I said, that one is, I'd love to sit here and throw an employee underneath the bus on that, but that was 100%. I'm the one that made the phone call, and I'm the one that made the arrangements, and then set it to the side, waiting for him to call back. And I should have been aware that it's been a while and he hasn't called back. It needs to go out and get served. So that's on me. So
I've noticed go ahead.
Just returns of service for all things, if they could be, make sure they're accompanying documents back to the appropriate places, because we had 2 tickets which were issued and not signed for.
okay.
I guess they were served by posting them on the door, but we didn't have a return of service. We weren't notified. We just had a ticket that had been issued with no signature on it. And then they didn't show up, and the judge didn't know whether or not he could file an order for motion to appear and for contempt for failure to appear, or if it hadn't been served. And so
to clarify, and I think I know what you're saying, but I want to clarify. If we serve like a notice to appear, because we can't catch them, we do what we call post service, a tax service. You want us to fill out a return of service on that, since there was nobody there to sign the ticket.
Because
I just want to be, that's what I think you're saying.
Correct,
I just want to make sure I'm clear.
Because
what you're
the
saying.
judge needs to know that due process has been served, that the correct procedures have been followed. And if it's done via a tax service, or even if it's left with someone, left with a spouse, left with a sibling, left with whoever it is that's of suitable age, even if it's left with them, they're not the one signing it. And so we don't know that was correctly accomplished, or what date that was correctly accomplished, because it's not uncommon for a ticket to be written and then not served until 2 days later. And with the $25 a day penalty, we don't, that 2 days difference is $50 difference.
Yeah, and it's kind of, at that point, it's kind of our word against theirs when they say it wasn't on my door when I got home, even though we fixed it pretty well. So, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Please and thank you.
Yes. One other thing, I guess, overall, because it affects everything, as you guys may or may not be aware, Janelle is retiring at the end of the month, so we'll have some transition there. So we're gonna have Cassie is going, my ops manager is gonna do the intern running of dispatch until we get somebody hired, or maybe leave her in place, we don't know what we're gonna do, but there will be. So if you guys missed July numbers, I'm gonna do my best to remember, Janelle's the one who always does those, I'm gonna do my best to remember to sit down and do those myself and get those done so you guys don't miss those numbers, but there will be a little bit of a transition there, so.
With him here, do we need to discuss anything else with fireworks on the Fourth?
There's been no change to the ordinance,
Mm-mm.
correct?
No, and, you know, we had contemplated not allowing them, and then we got rain, so I
Yeah,
think we should be.
I think that's the
Yeah,
big thing, so, yeah,
and the 4th is on
Saturday
the
this
weekend,
year,
so that'll be nice to,
yeah. So I should have planned, barring an emergency, I should have things split up that night, that I'll have one transit deputy going between one station in Bird City, one station in St. Francis, so unless we have like a major accident or something that draws them out, I should have one in each town and then one transit to go be able to help one or the other. that night.
speaking transient, do we have a new transient in town?
Yes, I wouldn't call it transit, he's related to somebody in town, and, yeah. We're working with the hospital trying to get some services so that he is not. I did, just so you're aware, I don't know if the city crew said anything, he was hanging out a lot by the dog park, and he was not picking up his trash. I did inform him that he would get a ticket for littering if he did not. He just leave his trash on the table and the wind would. So I don't know if the city's crew said anything about the trash up there or not, but
Not that I'm aware.
I informed him that he would be getting a ticket if he didn't start picking up his trash. I'm assuming that's the one you're talking about. Kind of an older gentleman, got a backpack and stuff, so.
And then I was just gonna mention, I've noticed either untagged vehicles or vehicles with flat tires, I've noticed they're starting to pop up
Pop
several
back up
around
again.
town, so
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys wanna
Yep.
kinda get on top of that.
Okay.
Is there anything else you guys had from the last meeting? Or anything else in general?
So I'll tell you, I had two, just so you guys know, seems like this is a bigger problem other places. Hopefully with our rules and everything, it's not. But we have had a couple discussions with kids and their e-bikes already this summer on.
Cause it's,
It's odd you
This is
say
the
that
biggest
because we were coming home. Oh yeah, they family took me to Tequila's, and then we went to Walmart, and then we didn't get home till about 10:30 last night. As we were coming down College, there was a kid on an e-scooter type of thing, and it went right in front of us. I mean, 20 feet in front of us. She was in a black top, dark shorts. Barely saw her, slammed on the brakes. It's fine.
Yeah.
We weren't as close as we thought we were. It just scared the crap out of it. I don't know what you do about those things.
Well, most of the time, I usually have discussion with kids when they do that about safety of it. That's one of our problems, whether it's e-bikes, scooters, or regular bikes, kids running stop signs while they're on their bikes is just a constant problem. It has been, the last 20 years I've worked here, it's just, you can't make an 8-year-old understand they have to stop at a stop sign.
Kids been out a couple nights after 10 o'clock doing that, riding around.
Yeah, and
It
what
would
makes
be so
it
bad if they
dangerous,
weren't dressed in all so dark.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we barely saw her at the last minute.
what makes it dangerous on those e-bikes is they do the same things, but they're doing it at a higher rate of speed
Yeah.
than they would be if they were pedaling, and that's what makes it
Yeah.
that much more dangerous, so.
I don't wanna jinx this, but it just seems like we haven't had near the problems on
I-
Main Street, you know, that we
Yeah.
did was that last year?
Yeah,
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 yeah, that they,
so,
anything else, guys? If not, is there a motion to accept or file the sheriff report?
So moved.
Moved by Larry, second by Randy, all in favor? New business options is rescheduled?
Yes.
Okay. And Western Kansas Child Advocacy Center.
Good seeing y'all again.
Yes.
Sorry I missed y'all last year. I got something to mention. Running around chasing kids. Things have somewhat calmed down. They're the ones graduated high school. The ones in college actually down south here in Goodland. So it's kind of settled down, but not. We thank y'all for supporting our agency. As y'all well know, we are the agency that works with children who've been victims of child abuse out here in 35 now counties. Previously 34. We are now in partnership with Mead as well. So we're bringing them services out that way. Beforehand, it was the Meadowlark out of Dodge that were kind of assisting with cases down that way, but they're a little further south, and they're not mobile, so that's the only thing. So they were still utilizing our facility there in Sublette, so we was like, well, hey, why don't we just take on those kids as well too. So in front of you folks there, I do have the green, as are all the counties that we serve, number of children served in that county, and number of services provided. And as y'all will know as well, we're the agency that provides forensic interviews, assisting law enforcement, DCF with those, providing advocacy for children, court advocacy as well too. So in the event that the child needs to testify, if one of our advocates is there with them, to both help the child and the family on whatever they might need through court, and also county attorney. So if it's something as small as, hey, I just need to get these folks on the line, we're able to kind of help facilitate that. So we know they end up getting a caseload, and it's just, sometimes it's hard. And also, we're also there to be there just a comfort for the child. Of course, incredibly intimidating. Especially quite recently, we were fortunate enough that we had the child's therapist there, and their advocate. Defense attorneys have their time and place, but it was a little jarring when they bring out a very impactful piece of evidence when it's not there to talk about. It was being used as a tactic to kind of upset the child, which is unfortunate. But luckily, the judge was gracious enough to give us a break while we kind of talk to the child, and that's what we're there for. We're there to support the child in any way that we can. So, but that's kind of part of why we exist, is to be there for that child. As I kind of barely touched on, we do provide therapy as well for children out here in 35 counties. And we are the only mobile. It looks like this last year, this will be Cheyenne County statistics. We're able to assist with 5 forensic interviews in a safe and child-friendly setting, provide 95 advocacy sessions for 10 children, so a total of 15 children out this way, 95 services provided. So we do greatly appreciate you folks' support. We wouldn't be able to do that without y'all. And I'll have 2 requests for you this evening. One of the papers that I handed out, it's got a blue, kind of pictograph, kind of a quick rundown of what I talked about. On that backside there is a wish list of items for our kids' bags. I'd ask you to share that with your congregation and other civic groups you might be a part of. So after every interview that we do with a child, we set up what we call them comfort bags. This bag has a pillow, blanket, hygiene items, age-appropriate reading material, journals, fidget toys, things like that. We set these children up with that in the event that it's deemed too dangerous for them to go home. So they at least have something that's theirs. If they go in emergency placement that evening, they at least have that, or that afternoon, whatever it might be, they have that there with them at least. So if you folks would mind sharing that with your congregations, like I said, or civic groups, or if you've got stuffed animals that you're hiding from your kids that need to go be rehomed, keep us in mind. My daughter's not rehomed several of her things. Luckily, I'm able to send them to another office, so she doesn't walk into the office one day, hey, I remember that Squishmallow. But yeah, I think it'd be great if you folks would mind sharing that with with the rest of your community. I dropped some off the last time I was up this way for a county commissioner meeting as well. Yeah, just keep us in mind. The phone number for our office is on that sheet as well too. Just reach out to us, and I'll go ahead and arrange pickup. Fortunately, our advocates are out in the area. I want to say twice a week lately. Within 30 minutes usually. They're just on the road pretty often. So, and I'll also share with you so we will always focus on the children. This just kind of gives us a window into one of the parents. She left these comments with us, and I'd just like to share that with you. After many years of asking numerous times for help, I felt today has been the day that I've waited for. I felt like today someone heard and cared for us. I feel like today I have the resources to cope with difficult trauma and unpredictable behaviors. So support was the greatest feeling I can walk away from this experience. Thank you so much to every single person involved. We are grateful for all of you. And just kind of a window of what that situation was, it was unfortunately a very bad abuse case that was getting lumped into a nasty divorce. So when things just kind of got lost, or it was, things are being said because to affect this other case, which things were occurring, unfortunately. So this parent moved to that particular area, within our service area, and then we started facilitating our interviews and kind of doing the process from there. And she was gracious enough to share that with us, which we would be unable to do that without you folks' support. So I've also can make the request for your 2027 budget for $2,500 to assist us with upkeep of our mobile and for fuel, especially. We're hoping we budgeted well enough, so we'll see. I know that's kind of on everybody's minds for city and county alike. You folks have any questions for me?
Yeah, your Cheyenne County, the 15 number, is that current?
15.
The kids that you're helping now in Cheyenne County?
It does not necessarily active cases. It just the advocacy cases, I believe, is what's on there. It's just if they call us, they need us. Active cases, I don't necessarily. It'd be hard to give you an active case number. If we had like a number of children in therapy, those are like a monthly therapy session. So that'd say, but yeah. So yes and no, I guess.
I think something to consider is if this was like in a year, they saw 15 kids in a year, and we're doing cases on them. Those cases are probably going to take a year to 2 years to go through the system. So if they talk to, interviewed, counseled 15 kids that year, they're still going to be doing those 15 kids the next year plus whatever the new number is. It's a constantly expanding number.
Thank you. Yeah, that's your exactly right. And if it goes to court as well. And then another thing to kind of gauge on there, because we always get a request of how many new cases. So there were 5 forensic interviews requested. So those are possibly new cases, or unfortunately addition to another case. It's kind of going. So if that kind of helps, it's hard to peg down.
Sure. The reason why I'm asking
Sure.
is because I'm probably going to go back and with our congregation and push helping and trying to raise some supplies for you guys. I just want to make sure to talk to them somewhat intelligently and tell them.
Absolutely. And if you'd like me out too, or myself or
I'd
one of
love
our,
that.
I'd be happy to do that. I gave you my card, didn't I?
Yeah, I like it.
On
I'm
that,
running.
do you have an extra one, or do you run one for the thrift store, the United
I did.
Methodist thrift store?
Yeah, I dropped one off there. I met those folks the last time I was through town. Not too long ago. They're really nice folks. We had a casino right down in Colby, so I was dropping off some posters down that way. So that's the event that we usually have out here. That will out in this area for this area's fundraisers are the casino night, which we had in end of May this year. Previously in July, we moved it to May. It's one of our board members that facilitates that. So, but yeah. So, any other questions for me?
I think one thing, since you're talking about numbers, another thing with the numbers is if you look at that number of 15 and you look at how many kids we have in the Cheyenne County community, you know, what percentage of children are being served by CAC, it's a higher number than what we want it to be, you know, percentage wise, but yet, you know, I'm just saying, don't compare Cheyenne County and look down and say, well, Finney County, 437. I mean, remember what it is percentage to our population of kids, and we're catching a broad spectrum of, you know, and saying that only a certain percentage of that abuse is being reported or investigated. They're doing a lot of service here, is what I'm trying to say. So they're really good to work with. They're quick in responding, and they're very, what the word I'm looking for, very well respected in what they do within our area. So
Appreciate that. So, and you know, it also takes a big, don't want to call it a burden, but it takes a lot off the parents as well too. Rather than travel to our office in Colby, hour up, hour back, if I'm estimating about right. Not to mention how long the interview might take. Here, I believe it was on Thursday or Friday, we had one interview that started at 1. I don't think the folks finished up till about 4:45. And that's very unlikely. I mean, I'm not sure how much had to be unpacked in that, but obviously we're never going to stop the child unless, hey, child tells me, hey, we're toast, I'm done. If they want to keep talking, absolutely, we're going to be there, because, you know, they're most of the time they're wanting to tell a story. They want to say, hey, I don't feel right. These things have kind of been going on, but I don't know that I have the knowledge to kind of work through things. So, I mean, we're here at your folks' call. Just give us a ring, and we'll make sure. Especially being out in little ways where being mobile is a pretty awesome asset. So,
I will definitely look out.
sounds good. Any questions, folks?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You might skip and go ahead and let.
I was gonna say,
Mhm.
Mr. Blea, I apologize, I forgot to put you on the agenda.
Oh, you did.
I did,
We'll
I'm
put
so
you-
sorry.
No problem. I'll make it quick. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm John Blea, B-L-E-A. Back in '92, I bought my first house in Bird City. I worked for the Denver Police Department for 39 years, retired out of there 8 years ago, and I'm living in, I call it dual citizenship between McDonald and Bird City because I'm at the Breathour Farm. And it's got 2 greenhouses. We're trying to get those up and running. A lot of things happening. It's 160 acres out there. And I own the thrift store in Bird City, and that's the Best Bargains. And I've got the Bird City Cafe next to Big Ed's, and we're working that. But I've got several houses in Bird City, and I just recently am helping a lady remodel this one at 600 South Adams Street, and it needs a lot of work. I got about 15,000 tied up into it. I've got the roofing ordered. The mayor and I, we talked in November, and everything was going great, but I had a little incident a few months back. I got a pacemaker. Ended up in a cornfield because I passed out as I was driving, and got flown to Denver. But I'm released and better and able to work it. A guy that does a lot of the roofing, Frank O'Berry, he's gonna do the roofing job for me. He's a licensed contractor. He's also gonna do the siding. We've already ordered the roofing material. It's about 4,000 of that 15,000 that I've got into the place. I'm just asking for about 45 more days. We still have to order the lap siding, but I know that's one of the ugliest houses in St. Francis. And I've got people wanting and ready to move into that. I apologize for being late because I was in the front knocking on the door looking in. I didn't know you had to come around back. But you did tell me the meeting was in the back of the building, but I thought we'd walk through the front to get to the back. But anyway, everything's good. I think, well, I've got plumbers in there for the last few days, and it needs a whole new PEX pipe redone instead of that copper. It's all busted in 3 different places, and he's gonna have to put all new PEX pipe in. So I'm fitting the bill for that. The house isn't in my name yet. It belongs to a gal in Bird City. Her husband died, and she just wants to get rid of it, so I'm buying it from her. But all I'm asking for is about 45 more days, get the roof done. That's the most important part. And then the lap siding. Been cutting the grass, trying to make it look decent. But that's all I'm asking for. A little bit more time so I could get it done. But any questions? I know it's an eyesore, but
We appreciate you working on it, and we know you had some health issues, so
yeah, and
we just
I'm trying.
wanted to,
Yeah.
yep, touch
Okay.
base so we're all on the same page, so
So,
we appreciate it, John.
thank you.
Yep,
Yeah, if I
Thank
could
you.
have about 45 more days, I think I could get the progress, show you that I'm trying, and we'll get it wrapped up.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we will jump back to East First Street and zoning and that, so. Let's see here. Since I wasn't at the last meeting, with, Duff Millers wanting to get a variance up there. And another separate issue that we have up in that area, I started looking at our zoning maps. If you look at the one that's kinda got the yellow and the pinkish orange on it, if you look at that block up there, it's over right in here. It'd be right, you've got the school right here, it'd be this area right in here. You've got right on the corners, so the pinkish color is commercial residential, so it's both. Nothing on either side of those blocks is zoned commercial, and there's, Carlos Hair Salon, there's Potter's commercial building, Schultz's Quonset, you've got the food pantry that had RV storage, you've got Tallgrass Energy, and plus that greenhouse, and I wondered if we just wanted to do like we did on South River and just get that all rezoned commercial residential and just take care of that whole block, since there's kind of,
So what
A
I'm hearing is
multitude
like-
of-
It's like 80% commercial already, correct?
yeah. And then looking at what we have for zoning, none of it's zoned commercial, so why not just
Right.
zone it both uses, and then that takes care of it. So, what do we need to do? Is everybody in agreement to just go ahead and take care of that?
We've already got that much commercial, yeah.
Well,
Do
we
you
just,
have?
I think I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
You wanna rezone this?
Mm-hmm. The rest of that block, so that's zoned, this little piece right
Right.
here and that piece, and there's a couple,
So are we zoning block 32, or are we zoning part of block 1 and part of block 32?
I would just do,
Are we doing both sides of the street?
mm-hmm,
Or is it
because,
52?
well, because the last meeting, there was the ones wanting for the
Right,
variance,
right.
and then there's Tallgrass Energy, and then there's the RV storage where the food pantry's at, and then
Right.
there's,
But my question is,
Both
are we
sides.
doing
no.
the full block? We're just doing from alley to alley?
Mm-hmm. So we're doing the north of this block and the south of that.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Plus that unplatted, probably, and the unplatted part of block, whatever block that is.
Okay,
Is that-
okay.
Does
I'm
that
gonna
make
need,
sense?
yes, I'm gonna probably need to get with you.
Okay, but it just makes sense to me to just go ahead
Yeah.
and zone it both, cause if it's not zoned, then
Right,
it's.
we'll have to do, what it'll be is it'll be an ordinance, and then it's gonna have to run for publication, and it's got a delay, I can't remember off the top of my head, it's either 3 weeks or 3 weeks or 30 days, in case anyone objects to the rezoning of it, but it's the same process that we did with out there on River.
Mhm.
And so I've got all the information saved, and I'll be able to just use that ordinance as a template, but I'll just need to get with you to make sure that we've got the legal descriptions right and the unplatted part of it. Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult.
Okay. Then, the second part of that issue that arose from that area is we've got 3 new shipping containers in town up there, and I got 3 phone calls on it the first day that they were moved in, so.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yep. So I guess I'd bring it to you guys' attention, because for the ordinance, shipping containers are not allowed.
My opinion, they're not, we never allowed them, and it's an ordinance that they're not supposed to be here, they need removed, personally. I hate to do that to people, cause I know they've spent money for them, but.
But we've also told other people no when they've spent money doing other things,
Mhm.
that I feel like we've told one person no, we have to tell them all no,
Correct.
so.
As fast as you have said.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest that the office send them a letter stating they've got a set amount of time to remove it, and if not, they'll be cited for violation of ordinance, I think it's it's either 1205 or 1204.
And I think we have the,
Yep.
so everybody good with that?
Yeah, and just so help me to make sure I'm up to speed. There was no city's attention beforehand at all, correct?
No, I just started getting phone
Just-
calls about, hey,
It's
there's
on, yeah,
containers in town, is
Okay.
the city now allowing them? And I'm
Saw a
like,
couple of them.
yeah.
There was also no building permit, if
There
that
is not.
constitutes a structure.
That is correct as well, so, all right, you and I can work on this and then
Yep.
Jamie, we can get that. taken care of. All right, perfect.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Drive safe.
thanks, Don.
Building permits,
One was added this afternoon, that's the one that we discussed. So you've got that one in there that wasn't in the original grouping. And then I messed up, and one of them is not a building permit, we have actually a, mobile home park license.
and I think, the one on Courtney Finley on 415 South Francis, she's got, part of that is a wood fence in the alley, and then the rest of it is chain link. And Jamie called and visited with her this afternoon, she'd like to do a 6-foot privacy fence the way around. And she had both neighbors
Right.
side. The issue would be Troy Swigert to the south. His lawn is here and hers is about 4 foot down. So they would like to go up on the retaining wall, which is the same, which we talked about, it has to be no more than 6 foot off the natural grade, so which is the natural grade, his or hers, on how that works, like we had a couple meetings ago with, on North Francis. I guess, I didn't have a chance to look at the map, and I guess I would say it's probably okay contingent on, if that's the property line.
It's okay with Troy? It's okay with Troy?
Yeah,
Was
Troy,
he one of the
Troy,
neighbors that signed off?
Yeah.
yeah, he signed off on it.
I'd say
I
Troy.
mean,
Both sides.
yeah, both sides have signed off on it. As long as that's not 10 foot off the property line, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
So, I can verify that. I guess we can approve that one contingent on any issues on the property line and.
Yeah.
And there wasn't any other issues, I don't think, with any of the other. Jamie, do you recall anything?
No. Taylor and Olivia, that one is the one that we were waiting, and I put the response, we were waiting to make sure that if they used a contractor, that the contractor was insured. And based on Jen's conversation, it sounds like they didn't use a contractor, but they had someone come and help them.
I think he has insurance, I can't verify.
Say again?
I think he has insurance.
The contractor?
Yeah.
Is that what he's doing now?
But they're making it sound like they're doing most of the work, he's just
He's
pitching and helping.
Yeah, he's the neighbor across the alley, so.
I believe that's what he's gonna be doing now, so.
I guess if he gets
Probably
insurance
get
on
it
file, yep.
yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the,
So,
Second.
moved by David, second by Justin, all in favor? And then we have the mobile home park license, and that is a renewal,
I'll move to approve.
moved by Larry, second by Randy, all in favor? Old business, property cleanup.
The citation was issued for the fire hazard.
Okay,
Is that one that we need to do return on?
No, I believe that one is signed. Give me 1 second to pull it up here.
I have a copy of it, it's
Say that-
signed.
that
It's,
particular
it
one
is signed, okay.
such a home, so I don't know if they had it.
Yeah, it's signed.
We got it this afternoon, I didn't have time to put it in the deal, but it is signed.
can I mention one that I've heard a couple of comments about in the last couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks? It's the old unit gas station. Yeah, I know it's not overgrown, but it's on Main Street and weeds have gotten waist high, almost waist high. People, they're, from what I understand, they're in California, is that
Yeah.
correct?
A lot out of California.
Guess we can
Weed
send a
letter?
weed letter, yep. Jamie?
It's right there on Main Street, and
Got
It's
it.
just
alumni
location.
weekend was here, I was like,
What about that one between Crave and the pool on Main Street?
They got mowed.
Did,
Oh, I think that's a yearly,
Yeah, it got mowed, well, within this past week.
Yeah, I just walked by it this evening, and it's looking really good right now. Till
might
the
take
end of
long
summer.
until
That's
the next
ongoing.
one.
That's an
Mhm.
ongoing deal.
yeah.
Is that the one that Dan said that they wanted to contract, just like contract the city to mow? Somebody,
Yeah.
somebody
Are
said.
you serious?
Yeah,
Yes.
somebody said that sounds like a great price.
Sign me up.
Can I just go ahead and schedule that? That's not how this works.
Every 2 weeks, please.
We need to.
Somebody, I think
We
that,
need
I don't know if that was the property, if it was a different one, but Dan sat in
Yes.
here not too long ago and said somebody got their weed letter and said that sounds like a great price. I'd love for you guys to do
Can
that.
I just schedule it and
Yeah.
just bill me? Then,
Is there anybody living there?
no.
What about the old Maxwell place? Anything down that one? River? It's getting pretty bad too, so, always has.
Weeds or property cleanup?
Oh,
Both?
Margaret Knight's place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one gets kind of overgrown.
Got a lot of trees now.
Yeah. and
Didn't
trees.
we sent, one time we sent something and they cleaned it up for a while?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
been
it
three
was
or four
pretty
years
bad
ago.
several
Yeah.
years ago.
It's
I
an
think it's getting kinda
ongoing,
bad again. Can't even see the house.
yeah.
That was the thing
They
when
did
I was
this.
the municipal court clerk.
Looked at
I was
that
gonna say,
last
I
time.
was,
Was that long?
That was we went all the way with it, I think. all the way to-
yeah, I was gonna say, I remember when I was down at Kite and Day, and that's
Yeah.
Since there's
Yeah.
kind of a,
14 years ago. And
Yeah.
it was 12 years down there, so it's an ongoing
what can you
issue.
do with the ones that are just vacant and nobody does anything with them? Can you raise taxes on them?
You can't raise
Can't
taxes
raise
on
them.
them, but I don't know,
Where does it say that?
how you gonna raise, your some
No
taxes?
vacancy tax?
Anything like that. I think he's got some antique cars stored in the garage there, I think. And my understanding is when she passed away, the house is just like it was when
Yeah,
she.
That's what
Yes.
It hasn't been touched for,
uh,
20
since we were in high school.
Who is
30 years.
the owner?
Of that one?
uh,
Brother
Royce,
and sister.
It's brother and sister, I can't think of their names.
Royce and Cindy, it's Royce that
Royce,
owns it.
yeah, it's Royce. And
But
Royce
they
is
are
one-
using it, or they're not?
The house just sits.
But the
Yeah.
garage is being used.
The house is empty, and I won't swear, I haven't gone
I
up
don't
and
know
looked
that
in
you
it,
can drive in
but I know he's got antique cars that he,
Is the property, is the structure itself an issue?
no,
It's a brick home.
That you know of, look at all those trees, everything
Well,
damaged.
And I think that the city, maybe you remember, I mean, years ago, we made them put a new roof on.
Yes.
They've had to
they
clean
did
up
put a new
trees, I
roof
mean,
on.
it's just
He
30-year ongoing.
you take him, he fixes it up, and then
Yes,
it backslides.
I think it's worth sending a letter out.
Do you want, we did a previous one where we said this has been an ongoing issue. If you don't wanna maintain it anymore, if you will just deed it to the city will take care of cleaning it up, but you'll have no right to reacquire it. Do you want me to send?
I doubt that'll happen.
Okay.
That's the least thing.
Okay, I just wanted to,
Yeah.
I mean, if it's,
I think we'll send a letter and see what
Because he'll
happens. I mean,
take care of it.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he will.
He just needs reminded.
Mm-hmm.
But it shouldn't have to come to that.
No, it shouldn't, but
Yeah, but some people, that's,
Well, that's what I mean, there's gotta be something you can do.
Well, on the flip side of talking about raising taxes, I remember I brought this issue up on my first term. We all agreed it was a good idea, we just didn't know how to implement it, and there was really no way to implement it, but is there a way we can incentivize, and I don't mean monetarily necessarily, but is there a way we can say, you know, have the town vote on the nicest or the most, you know, well-done renovation? I have a neighbor right now who's trying to make me look bad because their yard looks like something out of a magazine. These guys over here,
Mm-hmm.
and then they turn that yard into like an oasis. And so, I mean, is there a way we can like, we used to have a paper that you could put things in. I don't know if that's still applicable.
When I was,
A long time ago,
I
my
grew up on
grandmother,
Air Force
they had
bases, and
contests
we
or
had
something
yard of the month.
for the
Yeah,
Yard of the month.
That's, we had yard of the month.
yeah, yard of the month,
So
they had a
instead-
little sign made and.
So instead of bitching about the bad ones, maybe we could incentivize people. I don't know.
A little mini pamphlet, St. Francis Homes and Gardens.
Well, in some of the towns, they do like a home tour once a year or something. I'm not letting anybody in my house, but, you know.
They've done that here.
I think they do that. I think they've done that for a couple years at the holidays.
Yeah,
A holiday house.
I don't know if that's something worth putting out on the Parkland, just to see if anybody does a
Find out.
yard of the month or anything to incentivize people to keep their yards tidy.
And I don't know what you do, you know, coffee, just, I don't know what you give them, but
Yeah.
But
if anything, just recognition,
some people just want a sign in their yard.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's not a political sign
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on.
Or a roofing company sign.
or a roofing company, especially they don't want the roofing company signs.
I know, we're lucky. Well, we can look into
I'll see what I can find.
something, yeah. Anything else, property cleanup?
No, but while I'm thinking about it, you brought up this zoning deal. We talked to Derek Fromholz last time about, how the city had encompassed that property, that's not the right word, but.
Annexed.
Annexed,
What do you
and
use?
that his property actually runs inside the city limits. And so I think we need to discuss how we want to approach that, whether it needs to be deeded back to him since we don't have any interest in it anymore.
Deeded
Or,
back to-
well,
De-annexed.
de-annexed, yeah.
I don't know how you de-annex. Did he, cause somebody said he had like an old, when that, where the city limits used to be?
He was able to cite records of, it was like 1957 when it was
When it was
annexed.
Yeah, he brought in a great big book.
Yeah.
It was like one of the ones up at the courthouse,
Slap map.
flat maps.
Where did you get that from?
I don't know, and it may have been, cause it was an old one, so. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah, but there's old ones at the courthouse. That's why I'm like, I wonder where it came from.
That's where I've seen them.
And I don't think they let him leave.
No, I was gonna say, they would not let them leave, no, let's not leave her office, so that's what
I don't know, I just think it's something we're gonna need to think about.
Well, I think he has done a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money, putting a fence in there, and then if it's all county on this side, how can we tell him, well, that's city, you gotta take your stuff off? If he owns the
Yeah,
land,
no, I agree.
Well, but also if you buy something, you should know.
well, it's been there since 1957, every owner has had animals, livestock on that.
There hasn't been.
To me, this boils down to what happens with they build a new airport and then everybody builds out there next to it and then they complain about the
About
noise.
the noise.
Well, same difference, the airport was there first, this city annex was there before he was.
I was gonna say that, he's the first one to put cows out there.
No, he's not.
Mm-mm,
No, he's not.
I don't think so.
No, there's been stuff on that corner when you go around to the bridge for, I don't know how many years.
Plus
Big
possible.
dogs.
Since I've been.
There's dogs out there too.
There's been kennels out there.
I was gonna say, the dogs were the only thing I remember,
I'm sure there was livestock out there.
Yeah, there was livestock out there, pretty much.
Who had some right now, was it?
I forget who he said owned it before him.
Well,
Y'all?
Milton Lampy owned stuff on the north side of the road.
And that's outside city limits,
Well, that,
so that one doesn't.
yeah, no, I'm just thinking, somebody else has had livestock in that corner in the past. I know that even growing up. I just couldn't tell you who it is, who it was.
I'm pretty sure he's through the river.
Yeah, he's up here out there in the corner, yeah, yeah.
issue of maybe the cows are getting out on the
County,
county property and coming
walking
into
to the
city
city.
property, and, I mean, it's a tough deal. He's, for the most part, unless I'm mistaken, I think he's been pretty good about taking care of stuff when he gets called.
Well, it's like
Mm.
in the state of Kansas, if someone, this is called a, I don't know, comparative, I can't remember the word comparative state, where if the animal walks out on the road, if this is anybody, county, whatever, I don't know, maybe you can tell. It's not about, that cow is not, that landowner is not 100% liable. It could be, if the guy hit the cow and he was speeding, it could go that way.
There could be a percentage of
Right.
liability, but
But it's,
cattle being out, in Kansas, the law requires for you to keep your cattle
right.
in. It's not open range, it's closed range, fenced in law.
But
if
there
they
is
go to
a
What
Supreme
you're,
Court.
what you're talking about is a legal principle called comparative negligence.
No, it's, well, I don't know about nickel, yeah. But it was also said, the Supreme Court said in Kansas that it is not just liable that the cow got out, that it's the landowner's responsibility. If you can prove that they didn't maintain it, or they're just not doing what they're supposed to be doing, but he's maintaining the whole road,
Right.
so. There's 5-wire fence all over the whole thing.
yeah,
And he's been working on upgrading some of it too, more of it, I should say.
Which, then again, if it's in city limits, they get a building permit to put a fence up.
Really, you should.
Technically, yes, we would be
But
technically.
we haven't done it for 70 years for anybody else.
I don't think.
We've not maintained anything in the city, there's not been sewer.
and then
Anything
what
like
do
that?
you do when a city tree falls on his fence? Cause he complained about that too,
City
didn't he?
tree.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
said he
but-
still has one on his fence that he hadn't moved, just for that, it was about 40 minutes long, I can't remember everything he said, but.
I mean, you can't be upset. You can't say, I shouldn't be subject to the city rules, but then say, a city tree fell on this and the city's responsible. Either he's asking for it to be not part of the city, or he has to comply with the city ordinances. It's not. You can't eat your cake and have it too. Because if you have your cake, you can eat it, but you can't eat it and then also have it. So, I mean, it's, I guess, what is the council?
I don't even know,
I think you gotta start with two things. Has there been livestock on that property before? And, cause then, that's your precedent you're talking about. If he's the only one, and this is easy. But I don't think he's the only one, though, do you?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think who we could even contact to find out for sure. I don't know if Tom Keller would know, or
Tom would probably know.
I can't even remember who had that property where the
well, I think
Dan Siegfried had the property.
Siegfried,
they didn't have cows out there.
he may not have, it would have been before that.
Well, his grandpa, his dad owned that place. What was the
Gene.
sand mix?
They didn't have cows out there.
I just
might have
remember
heard it.
cows on that corner.
Mm-hmm.
I remember dogs.
Yeah.
Benny
Jermaine
Hayes.
Cooper.
Jeanette Cooper had
had
those.
No, Benny Weber had his greyhounds out there and then he had them, that's when he
Oh,
moved
Benny
them out
did?
there. Yep, that's the only
I didn't
animals I
remember
remember,
that.
yeah, years ago. Benny had dogs out there and then they moved them, and that's when they moved them out of town. So, I don't know how you go back and,
So I'm sorry, are you saying there's a precedent that there were animals there and it was in city limits and they made them move them?
They did not move them.
The greyhounds?
the greyhounds. He had them there years ago and then he moved them out.
I don't know if it was made to do it.
No, he just did. I think Janan's thing, she just closed that up, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would be different if she had a permit to have a dog kennel. I mean, that's different than livestock, if she had a
Correct.
kennel
Right.
and she had a license, like she went through the proper channels
Correct.
to have a dog, you know, a
Right.
dog kennel. I guess we'll have to do some more research into it.
I just don't see what, I mean, he owns the land. I guess I don't see the problem with the whole thing, anyway. We're never gonna do anything with that, it's in a swamp.
It is swamp.
I'll see if I can think of anybody else that
Old
has
North.
had ties to that property.
I can go back and see ownership wise, and that would give us an idea of where it's at.
And that, I did not even realize that was in, I thought the city limits was along the railroad track, basically.
See, and I don't know, I mean, if he's saying it was annexed in, I would like to see a copy of that plat map to see, or, I mean, if you had 1957, you should be able to go back through records and find something that,
I can try.
but I'm just saying there should be something, if it was annexed, there would have
Yeah.
to be
I'm sure
publication, there
there's-
would have to be all sorts of,
I would hope
Documentation.
so. Things,
so, I guess
I
let's
would-
look into that.
I
and
mean, it
see.
would likely be at the courthouse, would it not? That should be on file. At the register.
No, I would think
Oh, I knew that one.
it should be,
it should
be. It's been a long time since I've been through those.
It should be, but
Well,
It should
regardless,
be.
you're just gonna make the guy get rid of his cattle he's had?
And I don't agree with
I
that.
don't either, so I think we need to extend his deadline while researching though. Tell him we're looking into it.
Well, we
Well,
we
yeah.
kind of alluded to that we would do that last meeting.
Yeah.
We told him
like
we
3
didn't-
months
Yeah,
or
we told him
something.
we'd do that
We've been
at
a
the last
long time.
meeting.
So,
I was trying to remember what was it that brought him to the meeting?
You got a letter.
he got
Was
a
it
letter.
We got a letter, because we decided to send him a letter, and now we're, correct?
Correct. I mean,
It was a letter, it wasn't a citation or.
it was a letter that said, it was a letter that said, you have livestock within the, you're keeping and maintaining livestock within the city limit. And this is the distinction that I was talking about at the last meeting, that there's an ordinance for livestock at large, and there's an ordinance for keeping and maintaining livestock within city limits, and they're two separate ordinances. And he keeps having issues with the livestock at large issue within the city limits, but he is also keeping livestock within the city limits, which is an issue because it violates the ordinance. You're not allowed to do it within city limits. And so, per the decision of the council 3 meetings ago, that he would need to move his cattle outside of the city limits. And he was served a letter that said, you have until September 30th, I think?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
You have until September 30th to move your cattle.
That's clear on the other side of the river, right?
But then we learned that it was annexed, or what he's
Yeah.
saying it was annexed. So we just got some
15
research to
acres.
do.
I was gonna say, I don't know.
I guess I don't understand what
If
it's.
it was annexed, it was annexed.
If it was annexed, it was annexed. If the people before,
But the people before him has never had a problem having their stuff on there, now it's a problem now.
but if the people before him didn't have livestock on there, then it wouldn't have
They
come
did.
up.
I'm sure they did.
He said 2 or 3 cases they had livestock. I've been here 20 years, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what he said is true or not, but he said it, and I think you said you remembered one of them, Larry. So I can't remember the names he mentioned now.
Do what?
Who you mentioned.
Yeah, I can't remember who he mentioned.
Well, let's
Are-
go
are-
back and,
I guess the question that I have here is the consideration going to be, if there were cows, is the council going to consider, I don't even know how you would go about making it part of the county, de-annexing it.
I don't have a clue either.
I mean, I would have to look into it.
I tried to research, I did research, and I can't figure out how you would de-annex something out of the city.
What would be the difference of annexing something in the city, then taking it away?
I don't know the law to annex something from, I mean, that would be some research I would need to do. I don't know the process.
Well, we've
I think the
annexed
state
stuff
has to do
before.
it.
We've annexed the people, I don't know how you explain this. What street is that? It's kinda in the county, but they're annexed in with sewer and stuff right there, you know what I'm talking about? Where's college?
Is he paying
There's
some
houses back
tax
there.
on that?
All of those, like where
should be
Yeah.
separate from
Those
his
are,
county
those are
taxes
those
on
were
the other
annexed
side.
in,
Mm-hmm.
So it's something
the
that
ones behind the,
shouldn't have been
yeah,
a
behind the
surprise.
school. Yeah, one time
No.
it was outside of there.
Like I said,
Of course,
he bought it, it was inside the city
I
limits.
didn't know
You're
that those were annexed.
subject to city law.
Yeah, so it's not a surprise, he's been paying the city taxes for that land versus the county taxes that he paid outside the city. So it's not something that surprised him.
I think what's surprising him is you own the land, and then someone says you can't have cattle there when there's been cattle there before. I don't think the problem is the city or county, it's
I
that,
think part of the problem is that cows are a constant problem.
well, I think once in a while they are, I
Livestock.
think that's, everybody has a problem one time or another, having the cows going out.
There are 4 calls within 1 week that we have dispatch records of the same
whole county?
cows.
No, it is.
Of his
Same
cows,
cow. Right.
Of his same cows. So it's,
Same
I mean,
cow.
it's happening
Right.
4,
5 times in 1 week.
5 times in 1 week. I mean,
Well,
it's not,
that's
it's not
counting the
a,
pig before.
what?
And I said, that's not counting the pig before.
There was pigs before, missed that
Oh
one.
my god.
Yeah, he had pigs this fall, or a pig, not pigs,
A pig.
singular, that was,
I missed that one.
he
So
received a
You
citation
give
for that.
citations to everybody in the.
Or his son did, not
Do you
him.
give citations to everybody in the county if they got the cows on?
No, because they don't have an ordinance about having cattle out. It's a state law and you have to prove, like, they gotta be out a lot and get onto property of others. And it's different because there's a state law and it's written a lot more loose and not as strict. And then you have the, city ordinance of the livestock at large, and there is no county ordinance for the livestock at large. We have written people tickets for livestock at large. Goats have gotten into town, done damage, horses. Usually you give them a warning, tell them to go round it up, just like we do dogs. You know, go get your horses. But in the past, we have written several individuals for livestock at large when their animals keep getting out. And most of those are animals from out in the county that get into town and are causing
That's
Causing
under,
trouble.
that's under a habitual where they,
Yeah,
it's happened
yeah,
over and over
yeah,
and over
yeah.
again.
And like I said, I'm not taking a side in the debate, I'm saying there is a lot of reports, and we got to the point that started writing a citation for it. We didn't write a citation the first time somebody called and said, hey, there's a cow out, or there's a pig out, or there's a pig on my property. It, you know, as usual, we waited until it became habitual before we wrote the citation, so, but we have done it in the past for other animals, livestock at large, for other livestock owners.
I completely understand that, I think it's a question of,
I don't think that the livestock at large ordinance is an issue. I think that what's at issue is keeping livestock within city limits. And the problem is that if you allow him to do that, if you say, okay, it is in city limits, but we're gonna let you do that, then what precedent are you setting for somebody who wants to have a goat in town?
Pig in
Or
there.
a pig in their backyard? Or I mean, that's what it is. Either it's a yes or a no, or we looking into de-annexing it. I mean, you can't say you can have your cows in town just because it wasn't. If there were livestock there previously and he purchased it and he put his livestock there because the prior council didn't, or the prior governance didn't cite the previous owner, that doesn't establish a precedence for you're never going to get cited.
So, again, I'm objecting myself, I don't live here, it doesn't look. When did the ordinance for livestock in town, when was that codified?
Oh,
Long time ago, or
Probably always
like
been.
recent?
probably a long time ago. It was at least in the 2003 code, if not, I think it was before that.
I'm old, that was not a long time ago. But no, I'm just asking out of curiosity when we say, again, I don't have an opinion, I'm speaking out of turn kind of a little bit. If we say, oh, so-and-so, I remember in 1972 they had, but was there an ordinance that says they couldn't have cattle in town then?
And that's,
You know, I guess I'm
without
just saying.
researching of one, we can go back on ownership of our land, we can go back through code books, old code books, and see how long ago that was.
Mhm.
I mean, we can sit here all night and talk about it, but
It's-
until we do further research, we're not gonna get
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Hold on. 1978. It's been in the code since 1978. So it is not new.
What year?
Live.
1978.
Let's do some research as far as.
Apparently
even if it
nineteen
is-
seventy-eight's not
So-
new.
Yeah.
It's not old at all, that is not old.
That
I
is
was
So
in
here's,
my mid-
that is 10 years older
Yeah,
than
I was
me.
in my
Here's-
mid-twenties.
I was born in 1970. And that's how old we're, connected with.
Have grandkids, those are the amount how old you are every day. They call you old.
So, like I said, we could discuss this all night, we're not gonna get anywhere without doing some research on if we can de-annex something.
Right.
And we can go back on records, obviously we don't need to see how far back it was in the code, but we can do some research.
Right, but I guess my question for the counselor, my question for you is, if that finds it, if you find that, whether you find that people before did or whether you find that people before didn't, what is that going to change?
Nothing. I
So-
mean, I'm more like, we need to figure out if we can even de-annex it,
Right.
that's what, I mean,
Is that,
that's,
is there even a benefit to the city doing that?
to de-annexing it, there's no benefit. I mean, because we're getting tax dollars off of,
Is
So-
there any kind, has he got any kind of city utilities?
No,
Any kind?
there's nothing out there.
I don't
Okay.
know that.
Because that
I
would
can
Does he have
look.
water or anything out there?
Nope,
I
we've done
don't
no
think
well.
so.
Just natural springs out there, that's why it's a swamp.
So, we're gonna have to do some more.
Okay.
Would you look into?
Yes.
Very good. Projects pending.
You need me anymore.
I don't know.
Thank you guys.
Yep,
Thanks,
thanks, Cody.
Cody.
You could've left 30 minutes ago.
Well, I wanted to stay for property cleanup.
Oh, okay.
And we're glad you did.
Yes.
Is that this meeting schedule?
Yes, that bond one, Jamie, do you wanna update that for end of August, this 600 South
Oh,
Adams?
oh.
This July of 26,
So you want it the end of August now?
well, he asked for 45 days, so that would give him
Okay.
at least August. Is that?
Yep.
July
That's
would be
fair.
30,
He's trying.
I was gonna say, he's trying, end of August is fine, so. Anything else on projects pending?
Has anyone tried to drive in that right-hand lane and the new highway coming down town? You went on a really, really small car.
It's only for Fiats.
No, it's a bicycle lane. We're taking after
Yeah.
Colorado.
Down, I believe.
Yes.
We're taking after Colorado.
Oh. Visitors, Tracy, how are you?
I'm good, how are you
Good,
guys?
good.
Good. Nice.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, I guess it was yesterday, my neighbor Matt had let me know that, the power line for that supplies power to the streetlights snapped, from the rain,
Mm-hmm.
from the storm, and it was blocking my driveway, and I called the dispatch, I wasn't sure who to start with. And then they sent someone from the city out that was on call,
Mhm.
what was her name, whoever was on call on Sunday. And so they capped the line that was closer to town, and that line is still hot, and it's still rolled up and leaning against the pole. Our side is not hot, and that's just rolled up, and it's leaning against the pole at my place. And I noticed that the power line and the internet line runs across, and it's right in direct line with a tree that's next to mine. And I just was wondering if there's any plans to cut that back, so if there was any kind of lightning strike, that wouldn't start a fire when the power line gets put back up.
That's a good question for Dan. He's on vacation, and so
I-
when Dan gets back,
I
he will
thought
address
so.
that, and so,
Okay.
yeah, I don't wanna speak on behalf of Dan,
Appreciate you
and not
bringing
even
it to our
know him, yeah.
attention.
I just wanted to let more people know
Yeah.
that that tree is, it's alive, and there's leaves on it, and and there's leaves like touching on the internet, and it would be where the power line cable was for the street light. And when the line was down, there was a branch with it, so I really think it snapped at that tree. And I don't know if it's possible that it may have snapped another time, and it was just still, and the branches were still kind of supporting it, and the wind had blown it down. So I don't know how long it was like that either. So
So we actually have a live line out there now?
That's what I'm wanting, I mean, I can't get past that.
There's a live line out there now?
well, from what I was told, the way they tidied it up, so the line on my side and that one street light that's still on city limits, that line is no longer hot, but they just kind of rolled that up, and where it snapped, it's leaning against my pole at my driveway. The other side is still supplying power to the other lights on the road. I don't know what other street light there would be, but that line is hot, and it's just like coiled up, but they covered it. They covered it, so it's, I guess, generally safe, but.
So it is, so Dan did call me, cause he's obviously out of town, and he had Terrence go out and
Okay.
take care of it. It is just the line to the
Yeah,
street light, it's not the actual power line
No.
coming in, it's just the light, yeah, and so
yeah,
instead of him having to drive home from vacation to take care of it and then
No.
turn around and drive back, he called Terrence to go take care of it, and then he will address it, he'll be home tomorrow, so,
Okay.
yeah, he'll get out there, but, yeah, it is the line, it's 120.
Talking to Dan, you might have him check the power pole that goes from in the corner of my lot, that goes across to the streetlights,
Okay,
because it's looking like maybe the wind might have caused that to split. It's looking rather splintered in the middle.
that's
is
what,
it your lot?
Yeah, right there on the corner of Quincy and the frontage road.
Okay,
that's
bulb-
exactly
bulb.
what the line looked like when it, yeah.
Are you talking about the line or the pole?
The pole is actually
Oh,
looking like it's, you know, when you break a matchstick,
Yeah.
that's what the pole's
I didn't realize our winds were that strong.
Yeah,
they were bad.
there was some bad ones, yeah.
yeah,
There,
Yeah.
just a couple of those I would have guessed made it over 75 mile an hour.
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, yeah.
cold, it's cold, it was really eerie almost,
Yeah.
it got really cold.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
Really fast, yeah, that was concerning.
Yeah. I have one more question too, if that's okay.
Yes.
So, well, you had some fence issues, or, people that wanna do fences. I had, some of those questions were answered while I was sitting here, so, how does that work? I read the back of the application where if you get permission from all sides that you wanna put the fence on, and you agree that it's on, that it would be your fence, but if anything would happen to the fence, that whoever shares that side will split cost to repair? Or that you're agreeing that it's like our fence, is that how it goes?
I believe that's my understanding, that once, like, if you've got permission to put it on the property line, cause if not, you have to be 3 foot off. But
Okay,
then at that point, that's kind of a shared fence.
that
'cause
was
it's
my
on the
next, yeah,
property.
that was another.
Now, whether or not, who pays for what if it needs repaired, I think would be
Okay.
between you and your neighbor.
The split, okay.
Yeah.
So I had verbal permission from the people behind me that are out of city limits. The people next to me, the new people that bought the tiny house, they were, and permission from them to kind of just, and this fence is so old, and to just kind of reinforce with that goat wire stuff for my dog, and to keep, I'm really trying to keep some other dogs out. And so I got permission from them to put that up, but these posts are so bad. And I would rather just put something new up. And if I get permission from them, so then if that's the case, I could just use that same fence line to put the new fence up.
I believe so, you'd have to get a building permit to replace the fence, and then on
Right.
the back, it has like a place for your neighbors to sign that they give permission.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I would say,
What about the people that are outside city limits? Does that matter, or?
Lauren, would that,
You would still need to have your neighbor's signature, because if your property is within city limits, it's subject to the 3-foot setback.
Yeah.
So if your property line is the city line and your property's in the city and the end of your property is the end of the city limit, you would still be subject to the city ordinance of a 3-foot setback without your neighbor's approval. And so even though they are not city residents, you would still need to get their approval because you are subject to that 3-foot being in city limits.
It sounds like you already have it though, right?
What?
Their approval.
I had approval to kind of rebuild the old fence, the existing fence. And I thought, the people behind me is Pat,
Stewart?
yes.
Mhm.
And so he met me out there, and he noticed too that it doesn't go straight down. So heading out to outside of town, it's relatively straight, and then it goes inward and out. And he pretty much told me, it's like, you can do whatever you wanna do. He's even gonna give me a whole load full of T-posts to, put up where the posts are actually really bad. But, he just, there's the horses that are there. He said, well, just remember that the horses will push, sometimes they lean and they push, and they don't really stick their heads over much on my side. But I would still put, up like a barbed wire strip maybe across the top or something, and I only wanna go 4 feet. So, just to kind of create a little buffer. And I eventually wanna plant trees. Do I need permission to do that too? Okay. Okay.
There are restrictions on where they can be planted, aren't there?
They haven't been enforced.
Then I better act now.
Do we want to plant trees?
Hmm.
I don't recall.
I hope not.
I was like,
Yeah.
we have a whole bunch of them in town that,
I wanna do a line down the one side for sure, a row, and
I think there's a,
Well, someday it's gonna be a problem, the guy that owns the ducks. Got those trees so close to the,
well, how many others do we have that,
well, yeah.
we had, make people tear out trees because they're tearing up the street, and then we have people all over town start planting trees right up next to the street again, so I don't know that we.
I don't know
that's what
that
makes me
it's,
think
I
we
don't know
have
that, I don't
anything.
know that it's specific about planting trees, but I think that there's something about,
Maintaining them if they ever hang the roadway, but you're clear back,
yeah, I'm gonna do the majority in the back area.
that's a moot point. I think
Yeah.
that also,
Issues.
there's an ordinance about like obstructing a view of traffic. And so if you plant one where you can't see, where it prohibits people from seeing around a corner.
yeah, she would be fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's
Yeah,
not
she's
my
fine.
So,
intent
okay.
at all.
I was like, I don't think there's anything specific about planting trees, but
Yeah,
And those have to be, do those have to be like a 3-foot kind of thing in?
I don't think there's
From-
anything as far
Okay.
as,
Okay. And then so if I choose not to, if I choose to just do it on my own, I just need the permit and make sure that I'm 3 feet from that existing fence line.
unless you have the neighbor's permission,
Okay.
like I said, on the back
I
of the,
still need their permission though. You said I still need to have,
to build
So-
on the property line, so if you wanna go
Yeah.
back where it's at, just have them sign it on the back. There's a place for your neighbors to say it's okay to put it on the property line.
But 3 feet in, you don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you wanna go existing and it's on the property line, then
Yeah.
just have them sign it.
Okay.
Sounds like you've already got approval from them, so, yeah.
Yeah, that was, they're very nice. And then I had, one of the neighbor's trees, the second tree, I think it was the first one, fell when it was kind of in between owners. Another tree had fallen, that was right on the line, on the fence line, had fallen over onto my side, of course. And I mentioned it when it happened a few months ago, when we had some of those real strong winds. And, I wound up having a friend just kind of take care of it. And we sawed it up, well, he got the chainsaw and we pushed it over and took care of that. But there is another, tree that's dead, that is a cluster of about 5 or 6 and pretty round, pretty large trunks. And I didn't know if I decide, I'm not gonna do the fence anytime soon, but if I do decide to do that, will I be able to ask them through you guys to take that tree down? If it would eventually blow over. I mean, the other tree that was picked, that blew over just recently, there was nothing supporting that. There was no roots. They were all.
Is it dead?
Oh yeah, it's clearly dead.
Yeah, they're willing to take it down. I know a couple of people who will cut it down for you just for the wood.
Okay. It's on their side though.
Right.
Yeah.
If they will.
I would give
Because
them-
when I was talking to her about the fence, she was saying, well, you can certainly put stuff up on our post, but I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet, because she did acknowledge that tree. And so she thought, also, if that tree would fall over, that would just ruin what we would just put up. So I'm hoping they'll work on getting that one taken down too, because it doesn't even produce any shade well, it does a little bit, but.
Good, is that it?
I think so. Yeah,
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Theater report? Nothing? Pool report?
I don't really have anything to it, says everything's going pretty well, so.
Only thing is, that storm that we were in last night, it hit them, I think, quicker than they realized.
Oh, I'm sure.
They were still trying to get people out of there when it hit.
Well,
That thing hit so fast.
Yeah,
Super
we have to pick
fast.
up mine.
So I felt bad because I thought, oh, she's
Brandon
probably
was gonna go downtown
scrambling.
to the park yesterday, and this was probably, I don't know, 4:30, and I kept looking at the clouds, and I said, you might wanna rethink that. Started to put the girls in the car, and within 60 seconds, all that stuff hit. And so he didn't go, but I mean, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm very appreciative to the city crew for helping get the pool ready, all the extra help we had, people that volunteered to help and stuff. I mean, they busted their butts to get that ready,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's important that the public knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were down there. Yep. Attorney report?
I don't have anything. I'm very close to finishing the recodification final draft, and I'm going to send it to Larry Kleeman before it's presented to the council to make sure that all of his updates and everything, so the council can take a look at the final draft if they want to. Dan had talked to Amanda about something he wanted to make sure, and I'm not sure exactly what that was that got into the recodification, so I need to
Double check.
talk with him when he gets back. And then Jamie had gotten some information regarding mobile home parks and the requirements that are presently in the building code. And I've taken a quick read through of them, and Amanda's gonna review them and give a recommendation on it.
They may take out the slop closet, guys.
Nobody else had anything about slop
I
closets.
know.
So, but basically,
I'm gonna miss those
we're
things.
probably gonna, we're
We're
probably
still
gonna,
gonna keep the red lantern, so.
Good.
and the night watchman.
There you go.
Other than that, I have, I don't know if I reported this last time or if it hadn't happened yet, but the property that had been an issue, we tried to get service on and couldn't get service on, and the possible condemnation, it closed.
And we were talking about that before the meeting, they're
So
doing some work, they're,
It's amazing what's happened already.
Wait,
Yeah.
are you talking about the one that had all the stuff in the back?
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
from the,
Well,
Yeah.
liquor store.
behind the liquor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They had.
It was
houses,
sold,
right.
it finally closed,
problem solved.
They're working on it,
right,
Okay,
and so,
It's amazing how much stuff's gone,
good,
and how much stuff, trees they've cut down, and
good.
it's crazy.
and so I guess with council's permission, I think rather than continuing to attempt to pursue,
no,
Mm-mm.
that's what we talked about anyways.
Yeah,
just
right.
dismissing that.
but I guess since it was always a tentative if this thing happens, but now this thing has happened, so I'm going to dismiss this case.
Yeah.
I have nothing further.
Is there a motion to accept and file the attorney report? Moved by Randy,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? Okay. Treasury report, did Jen leave anything?
She did not.
Okay, clerk report?
I don't have a whole lot. Right before we closed today, the Guthmillers came back in with all of their signed stuff, so I just figured I'd let you guys know that we received it. I don't know what the next step on that is.
That's likely a moot point if we're gonna rezone that whole area.
Well, yeah,
That's what I
but he
wondered.
went and got all of them, so I told him I would tell you
He's good
guys.
for now, he's like, he's ahead of the game.
Just don't tell them.
I told him I'd let him know tomorrow if he was good to go. But, and then we already talked about the citation. I did send that resolution to you. Did you receive it?
No?
I could have sent it to your wrong email address.
I have corrected link to the share.
It would have been last week, probably.
No?
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I thought I had gotten that.
Is it on the share,
No, because it was to go to you to be reviewed and then I'd bring it.
Okay.
So I just was
If
checking.
you want me to review it right now, I can review it right now if I can just step
If
out
you-
for a minute, if that's okay with the council.
It's,
I'm sure it's the same thing that we do every year.
it is.
Okay, just let me, I'll just excuse myself.
Other than that, I think that was it for today.
Okay, we had the one thing for Dan that probably needs to go into executive session, right? You have that? No.
No, not yet. Oh. Okay, yeah, I can get it for you.
Okay, well, I don't know that we,
I didn't know.
We gave you probably 3 minutes of executive session to talk about employee personnel.
so. Is there any motion to accept and file
So-
the document? Moved by David,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? Okay. Council comments, Bud, you have anything? David?
Just, our church should have the flag at the band show painted before the 4th, so it'll be repainted and ready for the 250th.
Well, like, I guess I might have something.
Okay.
It's more, not really for the council as much, but we are gonna have our 40th at our shop. And it's just like bear and barbecue.
Jimmy D.
And Jimmy D, so hopefully everybody here shows up.
That's,
What day is
that's
that?
Thursday.
I think it is July 2nd.
And
What time?
What time's it start? 5:30?
5:30 or 6, heck, I gotta look at my own poster to know that.
Yeah.
Well, the shop will be 40 years old, the U-Haul will be 28 years old, and
Wow.
I turn 72 years old same day. So,
Well,
all the same.
yeah. Larry, did you have anything?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. Park committee met last week. They're working on some more grant funding. They're working with Hanson, and they're also trying to apply for a land and water grant to come up with additional funds that they'll need to continue the project down at the park. I still don't know if they're gonna be able to encompass this into one large project or not. Waiting to kind of see how the grant funding lays out. They've asked about whether or not what they wanna do with the equipment that comes out of there. The more I've thought about this, they mentioned taking it down to tap. I think we're gonna have to look at whether or not it'd be a liability issue. I would almost rather see it go up to the roadside park.
I would too.
I just don't think that's a kid's location down there for something like that, especially with that road. So, but that's something we just have to keep looking into. They're a ways from that point. I'm sorry?
Is there room at TAP?
Oh, there could be, but, I mean, you'd have,
Just,
Take
be
some
nice to
grass
have something
over
up there for people that are traveling through to
I
have
like,
something.
I
for
like
kids
the
to
idea
do.
more of.
And we have the room up there already, don't we?
Yeah.
What about where the racetrack was? Are they still doing something over there?
There's still, I think Clay Zimmerman's still got his hands in some of that. I'm not sure.
We need to set the driver's.
But after that blew over, they
Okay.
put it back up.
Oh. Yeah,
It's
it's
weedy
been-
now.
Yeah.
Something needs done.
That was another question that a couple people asked me on TAP. And I don't remember when we were discussing TAP and allowing them to pursue their funding and grant funding, whatever, all else they've done. Somebody made a comment to me that they thought the city was responsible for the maintenance down there on Triangle Park.
think it's
I don't
kinda
remember
implied.
that.
I think it was kinda implied,
I think we are. I mean, we were
mowing.
in charge of the maintenance.
Well, I get
anyways.
I get the
Right.
mowing and stuff, but I mean, yeah, like keeping the rest of it clean. There's weeds and stuff growing up out of there right now, so maybe I just need to talk to Mike and see what his schedule is and kinda go from there. I just wanted to clarify that because I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I think it's, cause we'd have to maintain it anyways, like the mowing, watering, that kind of stuff, so.
Probably have to be.
Well, I'm thinking about like the horseshoes and I think there's still another stage.
Broken equipment, I'm sure we have to pay for that too.
The what?
One more question.
Nets go down,
Mhm.
stuff like that, who's gonna take care of that? Broken nets or whatever,
Yeah.
I'll have to
paint
check.
lines.
I'll have to talk to the people from TAP a little bit more and see what their thoughts were on that.
Real quick, the last meeting, we voted to redo that street, there in front of Hobie's house. We decided we're gonna go cement. Do you remember a timeline that we
That's
talked
what I was
about?
gonna ask you, is it,
I-
I
hopefully
can't
it's not
remember
gonna be,
what we talked about on timeline.
I don't think it was discussed really
Well,
well.
because we have to go through the
We have to get,
process of using that bond and,
Right.
like, there's,
And that's a little,
that's a little bit
Okay.
different.
we sent it to him the next day and he acknowledged, asked a few questions, and then when we get something back from them,
okay,
I'll bring it to you guys,
Okay.
so you'll have a clearer idea on where we're at.
okay.
I don't know time frame either.
Probably homecoming.
He's looking, yeah.
Probably.
Dan
Okay.
did
If it's
say,
homecoming.
The way our luck works, yeah.
Dan did say that he's looking at like a 3-stage project to get it done.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay. Maybe.
May apply with the executive part.
What's that?
Well, I could just probably a little bit of this, but for the, if we could, well, what happened today was that the city sprayed the diamonds today, and so there was T-ball today, so they had to cancel that.
Okay.
So, just think we should probably, mostly the whole month of June, there's always something going on out there. We should just probably plan a lot better when we're spraying out there, maybe, cause the plan, basically the schedule's already out there on everywhere, so there's just pretty much more planning.
They sprayed out there during the day?
Yeah,
The diamonds.
yeah.
I'm not following you.
Well, they sprayed, what I thought it was today, because there was T-ball today, so they had to cancel it today because they sprayed.
Go with the kids out there and
Now they have to
after
reschedule.
sprayed.
What did they spray?
Pesticide, I'm sure, sprayed the grass.
On the outside of the fence?
Probably herbicide, probably, I don't know, but they had to cancel it, so
I'll have to check into it. I wasn't aware of any of that.
it's on Facebook, I believe.
Huh?
It's on Facebook.
I don't look at Facebook hardly at all.
Smart man.
I don't have time. Anyway, I'll have to check into it, cause I don't know. I can't think of anything that would, this time of the season, they would have had to, spray on the field, but maybe they have, I don't know. I'll check.
Is that it, Justin?
In trying to get, there's got an awful lot of dirt just piled up, is this even before the storm, over there on, by the lumberyard in North South Main?
Yeah, and I don't know, I need to check with
Scoop.
Dan, you know, they used to Thursday evening,
It's been there a while, so,
yeah, but they used to run the street sweeper Thursday evenings.
I haven't seen that street sweeper in a while.
I saw it out,
One day this week, I saw it
Thursday
go
or
by my
Friday?
house.
yeah, it was out last week.
Yeah, they were working before
I know,
alumni and stuff.
I know it needed a broom replaced, but I don't know if we got that
I
replaced
don't know if
or
they
not.
did either.
But we just need to make sure we
Well, we
get,
got, whether we got a loader right there, it's pretty thick for that broom to hit it anyway.
yeah,
Just get a loader out there and pick it up and use brooms,
yeah.
shovels.
Was that, did you say sprayed today or last night?
I believe it's today.
Today.
I mean,
Last time it would've
I
mattered,
was gonna
'cause
say, well,
wash
that would've
away.
been a Sunday, I'd have to spray it on a Sunday. Lauren, happy one.
I'm sorry, I forgot to do this during my report. Somebody in town has a drone and is flying drones, and somebody came to me to complain about it and said that they were going to shoot it out of the sky if it came over their house again, and I told them they're not allowed to discharge firearms within city limits, but that I would bring it to the council's attention. And since I should have brought this up with the recodification when I was going through that, but it just completely slipped my mind that somebody had come to me. So I don't know if the city wants to address drones.
I think they have to have a license, anyway.
I don't know
What's
if we
that?
have any ordinance
They have to have a license anyway to fly so high, so where.
but we don't have any way to enforce anything if we don't have
Unless
anything in our code, correct?
Right.
Unless the sheriff does through STO or
Right.
UPOC.
I don't know that. The only thing I can think of would be a nuisance, but I mean,
No trouble.
depending on how high it is, I know that I did not look into this because I just wanted to bring it to council's attention since they wanted me to look into this. If you have one that goes so high, I know you need a license. I don't know what that threshold is. So at the point that it's flying just
Right.
barely over houses and yards,
What's the elevation of the medevac that comes in, the plane? Do we know that? If we knew that, we know what it can't be.
Yeah, and I
right,
know
but I
that
mean, I think the concern was the privacy issue,
Well, sure.
and that if someone's taking a drone and flying it around, and I said, you know,
Okay.
if this is a consistent thing, you may want to take this up as a civil matter, but as we're recodifying, since this is a new issue, I don't know if the council wants to address drones within the city limits, ban drones within the city limits.
There are rules about where they can fly.
I know there's statutes about it, but I didn't know if the council wants to do, I mean, because the city has no recourse if we don't have something in the code. I understand that there are state statutes, but there's federal regulations, but that is outside our jurisdiction. So I didn't know if the city wants to.
Well, okay, so would they be allowed at the park, or is that too close to the courthouse building? So I'm saying, would there be any, the football field?
Well,
That's too close, that's close to houses.
Can we put it on the
Public
clerk link to
property.
see what other
Well, that'd be a school
cities?
property.
I mean,
We had,
Right.
Tate Bussey come in a couple of years ago and film
He's got a
the
license.
concert. Yeah, he's licensed.
Oh, what about,
Tony has one.
Reed Riley, who does his drone footage of,
Yeah,
I mean, I just don't know,
I don't think,
I think it's just a bunch of
I think
kids
it's
gonna have a
mine.
good time, maybe just, hey.
well, but I don't know, I mean, we could at least look and see if there's other ordinances people have adopted, whether or not it becomes a nuisance issue.
right. I mean, and
that
I
we
don't
have
know,
some sort of
and I don't
recourse.
know if it's that it I mean, I don't know.
Is he taking pictures?
was it a
That-
private,
He doesn't.
What?
was it a privacy issue or was it just they were
It was
complaining?
a privacy issue. It was specifically flying over their property. And it wasn't like a just going over their property. It was a back and forth and around over their property. And they brought up a concern that if this continues to be, like, they're worried about they're worried about drones being used to like follow kids or spy on kids or see kids in their yards. And so I didn't know if the city wants to address, you know, the only airspaces which is permitted in the city is over public lands, like city park, baseball fields,
Yeah. Why don't we see
roadside
if
park.
there's
I don't,
other,
you can fly a drone, you can buy one from Wally World or something, just around,
I've got one.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to research it because I know,
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, the concern was the privacy issue for that person, and then they brought it up that if it becomes more prevalent, what happens if somebody gets one and they're following kids with it or taking pictures of kids in the backyard or like a safety issue going forward.
'Cause I think Reed Riley's gonna be doing a drone footage of going down Main Street and for 202 for their project.
Yeah.
And they're doing a cool drone footage of the Main Street winding up at 202. So, yeah, we're gonna have to figure this out, cause
yeah, well, and I'll visit with Cody just to see what kind of,
Down the highway.
Probably got a nice one to do that. I'll be there.
And like I said, their concern was that it wasn't just
over a house.
it wasn't just like on its way. It was hovering.
Right.
well, we'll look into it and see.
I'm sorry, I should have, I
Uh,
completely
I'd
spaced that
say-
during my return.
Actually,
I'd
if
say
it's
if
reported to the
considers
sheriff,
to be
I
an
think
issue, call Cody and have him address it.
Yeah, cause he can come over and shoot out of the sky and it won't be any problem.
I think if it's
I'll let him know you
reported to the
said that.
sheriff,
Yeah.
he can do something about it.
And I said that I would bring it to the council's attention, and that he may want to pursue it as a civil matter if it continues to hover around his property specifically. He may want to pursue it as a civil matter of harassment or
Yeah.
stalking or something like that. But otherwise, I would bring it to the city council's attention.
Okay.
So I did.
Alright, we need,
Do you have any comments?
I don't.
Do you want to,
Oh, this.
this is
Resolution.
for the concert in the park?
Yes.
for
It's
that.
good.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to pass resolution number 2026-2? The resolution of the city of St. Francis, Kansas, approving a temporary permit allowing for the consumption of alcohol liquor on city streets. For concert in the park on September 12th, 2026. Moved by Justin, second by Randy, roll call vote, Bud? David? Larry?
Yes,
Randy?
Yes.
Alright,
thank you guys.
resolution passed, yes. Now, do we need just 5 minutes, you think?
Are you putting in on the same thing that I am?
Yep.
Okay,
Let's go 5.
Am I here?
do you want,
No, just strictly council, please.
okay,
Council and, clerk.
Oh.
Let's think.
I'm out.
you're,
Hang on.
I think,
are you making a motion?
I'll move that we go into executive session for 5 minutes coming out at 8:43, for the purpose of no electric.
Thanks.
Yep, see you, Tracy.
See you later.
Personnel
Employee status.
with just Jamie.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Sorry.
Then moved by Larry, second by David to go into executive session for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel for employee status.
So I wanna
Hey,
make,
hang
hold
on,
on.
hey, we're out
We're
of
back.
executive session, no decisions were made, we're in it. Do I hear a motion to go back in for
so
Let's go 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Been moved by David,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? You, okay.
Are you back in?
Yes.
Move, go back into executive session for 10 minutes. Everybody in the room, come back at, what is it?
9:02 maybe?
At 9:02.
Been moved by Larry, second by Randy, all in favor?
Okay, we're back.
Alright, we're out of executive session, no decisions were made. David had something.
well, it's just, couple questions on the truck thing. I've heard the truck mentioned a couple times. What exactly, what do we need the truck for?
You need a bucket truck, you know, if, like that lights, problem with the light, you go up there, fix the light,
come back down,
So,
rerun wire.
the thing with the bucket truck, and correct me if I'm wrong, was if it's a certain age, they don't service them anymore, and
Yeah.
so
Okay.
Dan,
No guarantee.
being up in the air, working on electrical, he wants to make darn sure that that truck is
Okay.
working in an
Yeah.
attempt to, and if the company's not gonna service them after they're 20 years old or whatever, 25 years old, or like, ours is to the point to where they won't service it anymore, that
Right.
we need to upgrade
Okay.
truck.
Alright, and the reason why I'm asking, and we also were talking about a trash truck.
We're gonna-
There's one that's gonna have to be replaced.
And the reason why I'm asking, one of the things I've learned in my 20 years of being in St. Francis is that, like it or not, perception is reality. And so I guess I'm a little leery of spending potentially how much would we be spending if we would move forward with both these vehicles?
I know Dan was gonna get numbers on trucks and bring them to the next meeting.
Ballpark me, 100,000, 200?
Depends on if we want new or used, and, I mean, I don't remember, he had prices for us,
For the used ones, it was between,
100,000 and.
it was like between 150 and 200,000, I think.
See, I know, we all know that there's funds allocated for those specific purposes already, we know that. The problem is a small community with perception being reality, we're gonna be seen as the council who's spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on vehicles where we can't get a freaking streets fixed. And like it or not, whether if it's right or wrong, you're not gonna win that argument, we're just not, we're gonna lose. So we just need to know that going into it, it's gonna be a losing argument.
And my thing is, we got a water tower that's
I know.
in its life. Would you
Exactly.
prefer streets without potholes or running water? I
Correct,
prefer the running water.
correct.
Do you want streets without potholes, or do you want to be able to generate power when Prairie Land
Exactly
goes
right.
down? You know, those are just hard decisions that we,
I know.
you as a council have to face,
I
and
know.
we gotta make those decisions and try to use our crystal ball
See how
to
she
see.
threw
I'm just saying, get ready.
I think the
After
mayor,
she got off of council,
See, my job has taught me, I have to, as a pastor, I've thought, my next meeting I go through, I've thought 17 steps ahead. Cause I know how they're gonna react, he's gonna react, she's gonna, I already know that, so I have to do, and I'm naturally, I think that way. I can just see it, and so just buckle up, it's gonna be a fun ride.
but keep this in mind, it's not gonna matter what we do.
No, you're right, you're exactly right, cause no matter what you do, you're gonna have about,
We're gonna make some
Speak
good
yourself.
decisions, we may make some bad decisions.
you're right.
and no matter what you do, half of the people are gonna be for you and
Correct.
I
half
was
of them
gonna
are
say,
gonna
do
be
you remember
against
when
you.
we chip sealed? Half the people thought it was great, the other half said,
Yep.
why are you wasting your time and
That's
money on
exactly
that,
right.
we just need to fix the streets. Yeah, so,
It's not like we're not trying,
no.
No,
we're
no,
working hard at
Hey,
it.
Exactly.
anybody could take my position, go ahead.
Hey, walk away.
You say you gotta work on the city crew.
Yeah, we got a job for
tell
you.
Taylor.
How much of this stuff can
You think
go
we're better than
after grants and stuff on?
I
And
don't
do we
know.
have anybody working on any of that?
I guess we kinda need to know what we want and what grants are, yeah.
You have to say,
I don't know how
these
much,
are the things we wanna work on, these are the grants that are available, hey Jamie, go write the grant, and then Jamie will go write the grant.
I think that's one of the things we need to start.
that's a good point.
Where we need to start.
Have you been to some grant
I've been to
schools?
one, and it was,
Yeah,
So now
Is
you
that
get
something you're at all interested in, or no?
I mean, we can get it figured out, we've also got other resources, so that's not an
Well,
issue either, I mean,
my question would, like with Chris, would be is how much stuff could she actually do for the city?
Well, and
I don't
also,
know.
you may be 4 or 5 behind with 4 or 5 projects before you with her, cause she's got everyone and their uncle come to her.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but
We
when,
also,
when I'm talking about going after grants and things, okay, we need a bucket truck, we need a water tower, we need, water towers, I think we can go to the feds and probably get something for that.
Seems to
so the
reasonable.
problem with that though, is we'd have to double our water rates before we could even qualify.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Our rates are so low that we would have to double our rates.
Which I don't think they are.
You don't think they're low?
I don't think they're high enough.
I know we've looked into it, it's been.
we're about right in the middle.
But
Based
I
on-
think as far as, and maybe even sewer, I know like we would have to increase our rates before we could even qualify. So, I mean, we'd have to look into, obviously, if there's a grant out there, we could look at this.
We need to start looking at these. Yeah, we know we need them, let's
Mhm.
start looking at the grants.
We-
Yeah, and then decide which one we wanna do first, which grant we can get first is what we do
Which
first.
we could actually qualify for, yeah.
And that'll make up the mind for us, we don't have to worry about it, but go out there and look for them grants. We know we need the bucket truck, we need, the trash truck, we know we need these, start the grants.
So I don't know all the grants that are available, but anytime
Okay.
you find one that you think we should look into, bring it to me and I will
Well,
research it
that's
for
what
you.
I'm saying, we need somebody to look into it, I don't know how, if I knew how, I'd be doing it. I really just don't know how.
Okay.
But I would be in favor of paying for her to go some grant training.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, me too.
They have,
If it doesn't run her off.
We'll see. But can I get through the budget first? Because that's gonna kill me.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to learn, I have no issues with learning any and all of it, I will need
When she gets done with her.
Maybe a
girls, spread
lobotomy.
her home and garden spread.
hey, that's how I keep from
Yeah. Thank you for what you're doing.
yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Hang in there.
Your decision, we all feel good about.
I'm only gonna cry 2 or 3 times a week and threaten to leave like 5 or 6 times a day, it's fine.
Well, in other words, you're making progress.
Yeah, getting better.
That looks like more.
Justin.
Larry,
Larry,
Justin.
Justin.